Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Startup Sense podcast. This is your host, Jonah Lupton. Thank you for joining us today. We have another great episode. Just a little housekeeping here. If you have not subscribed yet on iTunes or Google Play, make sure you do that so you never miss an episode. And also, I'm trying to do a survey here. So if you listen to this podcast on a regular basis, feel free to send me an email to jonahlupton@gmail.com and just let me know why you listen, what you like about it, what you don't like about it. If there's any ways that I can improve, I'm certainly willing to listen. So with that, let's get to the show. Our guest today is Marc Murphy. He is the CEO of a company called Atlatl Software out of Charleston, South Carolina. For anyone listening along here, the website is Atlatl, ATL software.com. They essentially build mobile and software applications for the manufacturing space. We'll get into all that. Marc's a very interesting guy. So he actually exited his last company called SPARC. They sold to a private company for $53 million. That company was actually bootstrapped, meaning no outside investors. So now he's at Atlatl, joined the company a little less than a year ago. A little more than 40 employees, like I said, based in Charleston. They've raised about $12 million from private investors, and now they're getting ready to raise a Series A. So hopefully I got everything covered there. Marc, how are you, man?
Great. Happy to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
Did I miss anything in the intro, or did I mess up anywhere?
No, well done. Thank you.
Awesome. There's a lot of stuff to try to remember and squeeze in there. So I guess let's start with SPARC. We'll talk about SPARC for a few minutes, and then we'll move into Atlatl, just because, timeline-wise. When did you start SPARC? How did you guys sell it? What was the reason for selling? And then, I guess, why did you join Atlatl?
Yeah, so I got to SPARC, I think, around 2011. The founder brought me in. We were about 75 people when I was hired, started as COO, and got raised up to CEO. And, the founder, it was at a point when the company was growing and wanted to add to his executive team, and grew that company from about 75 people to about 350 people at the time of exit.
Wow. And who did you guys sell the company to?
We sold to Fortune 500 system integrator, Booz Allen Hamilton.
Oh, yeah. Big. Okay. Yep. Familiar with the name. Kind of a big consulting company too, right?
Consulting, systems integration, and part of their interest in SPARC was they were forward-thinking, trying to build a software capability within what would traditionally be a consulting shop, and just did a build or buy analysis and felt like it was quicker, easier to go out and find a high-performing software shop to add to their portfolio. That's
Cool.
really what led their interest in the pursuit of SPARC.
And how long did you stay on with the company during that transition?
I stayed on about 4 months after we sold.
Okay.
Helped with integration, get everyone in a great place. We were very fortunate to be bought by such a great company. Can't say enough about Booz Allen, and putting everyone in a great place for careers and a future growth was really important to all of us at SPARC.
Nice. Yeah, I have a couple friends that work for the company out of New York, and they have nothing but nice things to say about them. Okay, so what attracted you to this new company, to Atlatl Software?
The chance to get to another startup. I was a big company guy before I got to SPARC, and really felt much more at home in the startup environment. And I was made an offer to come here that really was perfect for me, which was the opportunity to build a company. And that's really a passion of mine. And the opportunity was just perfect. So that's really and the opportunity to work with such a great product as well.
So what exactly is the product? What does the company do? I mean, I'll let you give a better description than I ever could.
Yeah, it's a sales acceleration tool. So it's a salesperson's enablement tool, mainly directed at the manufacturing and distribution space. And we believe there's going to be a massive shift into domain-focused software packages, and we are in the right place with a massive market in global manufacturing and distribution.
So I assume you're working with very large companies then, right? That have manufacturing facilities or distribution facilities around the country or around the world?
We have a product offering for, the small mid-market manufacturers all the way up to enterprise and Fortune 100 companies. There is, once you start digging into it, the U.S. is a huge manufacturing space, and the market of $100 million and above manufacturers of all types of equipment is just massive in the U.S. The concentrations are obvious around the Midwest and the Texas area, but we're fortunate to have a lot of them right here in our backyard in South Carolina as well.
Now, is your product helping them increase their operations productivity or the sales process? What exactly is it doing for them?
It's optimizing their sales process, but also allowing them massive productivity changes, a shift to speeding the process from selling items all the way to the execution on the shop floor. And, each part of that process, our software is taking cycles and productivity gains.
Gotcha.
What excites me is we're still going into companies that are selling with binders and dropping off printed catalogs every quarter. And, if you go into a space that is still working in those types of mediums, there's a lot of potential to gain with software.
Now, how do you guys find your clients? What's been the marketing strategy or the marketing message for Atlatl?
It's an inside play right now. So, we're fortunate that our customers are self-generating more customers for us in that, we go to manufacturers, those manufacturers have a distribution network. So we mine that distribution network to find our next customers. And then that distribution network has more manufacturers, and that cycle continues. So through very disciplined data mining and demand gen capability, we are filling our pipeline constantly. One thing we did, which may prove to be one of our best near-term decisions, is completely rebuild our digital presence on HubSpot. And, that platform, we are a huge believer and highly committed to that platform because it provides unlimited amounts of data and analysis on your sales and lead process.
Right. So HubSpot is a inbound marketing platform. Big fans. Founders are amazing guys. I've known them for years out of Boston. So how are you driving these inbound leads? What type of digital marketing are you doing? Are you guys doing any paid marketing, or is this a lot of content marketing or webinars? What's been working best?
All of the above. We're disciplined about our paid ad campaigns and constantly relooking what's working for us on the paid ad campaigns. A lot of focused blogs, focused campaigns around pieces and features of our product, and really targeting the data we're seeing coming in on a daily basis. The beauty of HubSpot, and there's other platforms that are doing the same thing, but we can look almost daily on what's working and what's not working, and then attack what's working, shift what's not working, and have a constant update on marketing and targets.
Do you guys run a lot of your marketing internally, or do you work with partners? I guess you outsource some of it.
Right now, all internal, which is working for us. Obviously, as we grow and hopefully as we take on acceleration funding, we'll be able to entertain other areas. Right now, it's working for us. We have a great pipeline, a great marketing and demand gen team, and getting a lot of great early results.
Now I know you said you work with mostly manufacturing distribution companies. Do you work what industries inside those? I mean, is it healthcare, or is it? I mean, are you able to break it down anymore?
Yeah, oil and gas,
Okay.
and a lot of equipment around oil and gas. Medical devices works really well for us because of the complexity of those products. we see potential in the future for our automotive and aerospace. But right now, focusing on kind of manufacturer of industrial goods and medical devices is our focus area right now.
This is Jonah Lupton, founder of Joule and host of the Startup Sense podcast. At Joule, we help entrepreneurs and startup founders build, launch, and grow their companies by providing superior technology, marketing, and consulting services. We help clients of all sizes, budgets, and industries. We put our clients in the best position to raise capital, grow revenues, hire employees, and maximize their profits. For more information or to set up a free consultation with our team, please visit our website at joule.net. That's JOOL.net. So you mentioned before fundraising, and I mentioned it in the intro, and you guys have raised, millions of dollars thus far, but all from private investors. And I think you've kind of alluded to the fact that now it's time to bring in some, venture investors. So what is your strategy now talking to, venture capitalists? Are you focusing on any particular firms or firms in any particular cities, or, tell us more about that?
So I've given a lot of thought as we entered into this process, and before we went out kind of publicly to go to fundraise, I just did a lot of focused analysis. And, I'm a huge believer in aligning to firms that do what we do. So, my first focus was trying to find, what matters to them and making them care. So I focused on firms that do investments in the manufacturing space. And making sure that their portfolio aligns to what we do. And we're fortunate right now in that we're going to the market to find a true partner, a firm that can truly help us with all the non-monetary things that a venture firm can bring. Alignment to the manufacturing space, alignment to their portfolio investments, partner that can sit on our board that can actually give advice and direction. So, I focused the firms that we were going to talk to all around those criteria. And, it doesn't hurt to find people that have an interest in Charleston or an interest in investing in this area. But a very disciplined approach to finding the master list of venture firms that fit that criteria before we start going out and making contact.
Right. So you're obviously very specific in your approach here, which makes all the sense in the world. What is it like building a company in Charleston? What is the startup community like, and what are you able to find the type of talent that you need?
So it's a wonderful place to live. So we have that advantage going for us, and that obviously attracts people that want to live here and good talent. Charleston's got a very rich talent pool for engineers. I'm fortunate in that at SPARC, I was able to hire literally 200 plus engineers over the time I was there.
Wow.
So I know they're there. I know we have, a constant inbound of good engineers from surrounding schools, but also people that are moving. We see a lot of people migrating from Boston, New York, and other areas because of the quality of life and great cost of living. So, all that we're going to take advantage of. But I also see a shift in the venture community starting to find, an interest in investing outside of Boston and California. And, I think the economics of building a company in a market like Charleston are a clear advantage. The cost, your two biggest costs are people and space. And those costs are significantly different than, say, a Boston and California.
Absolutely. I mean, you probably in Charleston, you can get away paying an engineer probably half of what you would have to pay them in the Bay Area.
Absolutely. You can get them to stay.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, in full disclosure, one of the reasons we're talking today is because I'm planning to move to Charleston myself. And I started looking up, who are the hot startups down there, because I want to try to build some connections and relationships, before I land in town. And I've done my research on Charleston. I've looked at probably 10 other areas in the country. And Charleston, to me, it seems like the best place to live and work and build a company and build a life and everything else. So I hear you loud and clear. Now, where was SPARC? Thank you very much. Where was SPARC based?
In Charleston as well.
Oh, okay.
just
Okay.
about 4 or 5 miles from where I'm sitting right now.
Have you been able to recruit any of your former colleagues over to Atlatl?
Um, I have completely appropriately, of course.
Right. I know it's always a delicate subject. Talk to us about, okay, so 42 people right now. Out of those 42, are most of them technical?
So I had this number for a VC pitch the other day. So about 30 of them are engineers or, working in the SDLC, either requirements, products, engineers, test, and, the rest is sales, marketing, and, my leadership team.
Okay. I mean, and how do you split up your time personally? I mean, I'm sure you spend some time recruiting. Obviously, you're about to spend a lot of time fundraising, but how do you allocate the rest of your day?
A lot of time right now focused on fundraising and the fundraising process. A lot of time with our sales team because that's our big ramp up area right now, and in the sales process, participating in the sales process when I'm needed. And then time with my product manager and the head of engineering, mapping out our roadmap for 17 and 18.
Maybe you can give us a little insight. This might be interesting because I don't think I've had this conversation yet with anyone on when it comes to talking to venture capitalists, right? I mean, there's hundreds of VC firms out there. You're obviously going to be focused on a segment of them that have expertise in the manufacturing space. But how do you reach out to them? I mean, are you reaching out to like a junior partner and setting up a call with them? And then if they like what you have to say and they like some of the numbers that your company's producing, then they put together a sit down with the senior partners. I mean, I'm not even sure how it works myself.
It's a great question, and I think there's nothing more important or that can tip the scales in your favor than getting networked into the right area. So we take inbounds all the time from associates, and a lot of that is them just churning through, trying to connect with as many companies as possible. So, what I tried to do is create a network map. So after I got my list of firms together, I just networked and found connection points. And I think I'm on the fortunate side where I have a good network from my past experience, but try to find a way to get a warm intro. It will make all the difference in the world in knocking down barriers. And obviously, if you can get a warm intro at the partner level, that means a lot and can help accelerate your process significantly. There are obviously the big firms in California that won't talk to you without a warm intro.
Right.
And I think that's all about just the volume of deals they're getting. So, a lot of the companies that we're having multiple conversations with right now came from warm intros. But I will tell you, some of it just came from sweat equity and just, trying to do intros through LinkedIn or even a contact us form on some of these sites I've had success with as well. So I think it's just a lot of energy, a lot of discipline, having a good message, and work your contact list and try to get networked in.
How do you think your experience as the CEO of SPARC has made you a better CEO for Atlatl?
Yeah, I think there's no playbook for this. Startup CEO, I think, is probably one of the best jobs out there, and a ton of fun. But it's a huge challenge, and there's literally no playbook because every day you're trying to do new things to grow your company. So, being a CEO previously, I've seen a lot of things and experienced a lot of things in the first round that helped me get over things now. And, a lot of that business discipline, contracts and legal, those things are very much learned and can take a big bite out of your learning curve. But, I think that each startup is new. So there are challenges, but, learning through a couple processes. And, the VCs take that into account as well. They're going to invest mainly in three things: a great product, a great team, and a significant market. And if you can give them confidence through a CEO that's done it before, that helps break down some barriers for sure.
So, I mean, your situation is a little unique in the fact that you're not necessarily a founder of the company, but you joined to help grow the company. There are a lot of founders out there that started their company. Maybe they've hit a plateau. Maybe they're about to go raise a big round of capital, and the time might be right to bring in a professional CEO. In your eyes, when is the right time for a company to make that move, to bring in? I mean, maybe not the best comparison, but you saw it with Google, right? When Google brought in Eric Schmidt to help run the company. What was the main reason that Atlatl brought you in, and what can we all learn from that?
And I talk to VCs because I try to be very transparent in this process, and this is something that the VCs see all the time. But there is an inflection point, I think, in a lot of companies when the founders' skill set or interest level just don't meet the direction of the company or the scale of the company, and they need some help. And I think the good founders, the previous founder I worked with at SPARC, realized that and realized the timing was right, and realized that one decision can help him grow the company as well. So I think every situation is different on when that inflection point is. I think you can see stories of people making good decisions on when they need help, or people ignoring when they need help, and the results are predictable.
Right. What's the best decision that you've made so far over the last 9 or 10 months since you joined the company?
So there's the HubSpot, building on HubSpot, and I apologize for sounding like a commercial for HubSpot, but I'm a huge believer.
No worries.
And the results we're getting there, and partnerships. We made a couple early bets on some partnerships, and building some technology integrations with some partner companies. And I think those partnerships or one of them is going to pay off big in a number of different areas. And it was a bit of a roll of the dice when we decided to do it, but the response has been great.
Do you have any dream clients that you'd like to work with that maybe one of the listeners happens to work for, and we could get you a nice introduction?
GE, I think, is a great dream customer for us, only because our product, I have a vision of our product could go through their entire ecosystem. So as a kind of angle of scaling our business, GE would be great. The Tesla is kind of a dream for us.
For sure.
We had the Tesla guys stop by our booth one time at a trade show. And, as far as doing a visual selling experience and, selling in an augmented reality environment, which is what we do, a company as visionary as Tesla, and there's probably others, I just see a perfect fit. So that would be a dream client as well.
Tell us more about what exactly is selling in an augmented reality. I have a rough idea of what that means, but maybe you can tell us a little bit more. I mean, this is obviously kind of the future of sales, right?
We think so. And, I think everyone's going to be buying and selling, whatever they are, consumer goods, business goods, manufactured goods. You see in that everyone's going to be selling in some mixed reality environment in 3 to 5 years. And we have a tool, so we produce an augmented reality version of the piece of equipment that people buy. And right there in their office, they can see that piece of complex equipment in an augmented reality environment. It's really early. The technology is proofed out. We actually submitted a patent application for it, but we know it's early, but we already developed it. But in 3 to 5 years, you're going to be buying and selling everything in a mixed reality environment.
And that's 2D or 3D?
This is 3D.
Okay. Wow. Anything else that we need to know about the company, or anything that you want to share with us in terms of advice? I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't necessarily have any specific questions I want to throw at you anymore. I've already given you a lot to answer, and I know you're a busy guy.
I think what I would say, what we've learned here is, focus on building a great company. Everyone's got great products, but focus on building a great company. And I think if you build a great company, fundraising, growth, new customers will come your way. But, I got what I thought was one of the greatest questions from a VC the other day. And halfway through the pitch, he kind of stopped me and asked, are you building a product or are you building a company? And I just thought it was a great question. It hit me very personally. And you don't know what the right answer is because it's all about product, obviously. But, I said we're building a great company. And fortunately, that was the answer they wanted to hear. But I think it's a good takeaway that, focus on building a great company. And I mean that by, great people, focus on hiring A talent, build a great culture, focus on really good business disciplines early, get some core values that you believe in and march behind them. And, that coupled with a great market and a great product, you will build a great company.
Yeah, I think, I usually ask the question, what's the best advice that any of your investors have given you? And I know you've mostly been working with private investors, so I don't know if that question was necessarily appropriate, but the three answers I usually get are focus, only hire great people, and think bigger. Those are usually the three things that the investors say. Your private investors, how involved are they right now?
Very.
Oh, okay.
And I am, and I say that I feel very fortunate that we have an investor and a board member that is available to me when I need him. And, I think startup CEO or any CEO can be a very lonely job. And you don't often have people to go to, but I'm very fortunate I have a kind of built-in sounding board and always available for advice and a second opinion. And I think that has paid dividends and will pay dividends for the company and me.
And I'll end on this. What is the number one reason that any founder or entrepreneur should consider moving and starting their company in Charleston?
Access to great talent, a wonderful place to live, economics that you can build a business around, and, a really great place to build a business, build a family, and enjoy life. And that's important.
It is, absolutely. Got to have that balance. Otherwise, you go crazy. Well, thank you so much, Marc. Really appreciate your time today. Thank you for spending some time with us. And I guess look forward to staying in touch. And, if anything big happens or exciting, you want to come back and tell us about it, feel free. You're always welcome.
Excellent. We look forward to meeting in person when you get down.
Hope that happens real soon. Okay. Talk to you soon, Marc.
Excellent. Thank you.
Bye. You got it.